Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the D&N Show episode. God knows what it is now. I'm doing this video solo today. No big deal. I do want to get into the picks that I had for this week and the results of last week. So last week, week 8, I went 11-4. Looks like I did fairly well. So far I have a total record of 24-16, so not too bad. But a little bit worse. I'd like to. The losses are a little bit extra, but yeah. So far through the week, week 9, I have for the Vikings and the Falcons. I had the Vikings winning that game, which I heard that was a pretty close game. I believe it was 31-28, if I remember right. I heard I saw Joshua Dobbs did pretty well. So honestly, I'm good. It's good for I always root for Joshua Dobbs, considering he used to play for the Steelers. Now he didn't get a fair chance to see if he was worth the starting spot, but it happens. They got the victory and they got it done. This one was fairly surprising. Not surprising, but the Seahawks just played terrible. The Ravens and the Seahawks. I had the Seahawks winning, which that did not happen. The Ravens won very convincingly, 37-3. As far as I saw, the Seahawks looked really scared. Did not play really well and played really scared against the Ravens. So unfortunately, they lost. Now the next one I have is the Cardinals and the Browns, which I had the Browns winning, unfortunately, and unfortunately that did happen. I saw it was a pretty convincing score, too. Like, the Browns played really well against Cardinals, which I'm surprised, but I didn't see Kyler Murray did not get activated today, so he's still injured. So the Cardinals are just a dumpster fire of a team right now. Not even a dumpster fire. I can't say dumpster fire as much as I can say there's just a massive clusterfuck. Not really sure what's going on here, but they do not have very good things going for them right now. So they lost. So next I had the Rams and the Packers, which the Packers did win today, so I did get that one correct as well. I didn't see too much on that one, other than sometimes the offense didn't look too good, but it happens. The next I had... This one I lost. I had the Buccaneers beating the Texans, which that did not happen. The score was 37-39. Props to C.J. Stroud, on the other hand. He had 5 touchdowns, 0 interceptions, and 479 passing yards, which made a single game rookie record or something like that. Yeah, he beat a record for most passing yards in a game without a touchdown as a rookie or something like that. Correct me if I'm wrong, but I'm pretty sure that was something along those lines. But pretty good game, which props to my fantasy team because I have C.J. Stroud as one of my 2 quarterbacks, and I believe he is starting for one of my teams this week. So, sweet. Moving on, I have the Commanders and the Patriots. I had the Commanders winning, which that did happen. The Patriots, unfortunately, are just not a good team this year. Unfortunately, I feel bad for them, but you do what you got to do. I mean, usually you need to get stuff done when you have to get stuff done, and unfortunately, they are not. So now that's so far what I can tell you now on my picks. The only other update I have is the next 3 games that started. I have with the Colts and the Panthers. I do have the Colts winning this game, which right now looks like so far it's just about halftime, and the Colts are up 20-3 against the Panthers. So far so good on that one. The Panthers, unfortunately, they have an okay rookie at quarterback, but unfortunately they just don't have a good team yet. Which it happens. It's like it'll take them a while, I think, to get back to going. Next, with the Raiders and the Giants, I had the Giants winning this game because I figured with all of their coaching changes, like their offensive coordinator getting fired, their head coach getting fired, their GM getting fired, I figured that maybe they were going to have problems yet until they figure it out. But it looks like so far the Raiders are winning 14-0 so far. So that's good. Props to the Raiders because they said, you know what, y'all are getting out of here, everybody. Head coach, you're gone. Coordinator, you're gone. GM, you're gone. Yeah, so they haven't been doing too well lately, but good. Props to them for winning this game so far. I mean, that's about halftime, too. That one's 3 minutes left in the second quarter, so. And then the game, I believe this one was America's Game of the Week. Cowboys versus the Eagles. I have the Eagles winning this game, and so far, with 5 minutes left in the second quarter, it is tied 14-14. So, so far, those games are up there. Hopefully, we can keep getting picks right, because so far I've only lost 2 games so far this week, which thank God for that. But we'll see. And then Sunday Night Football, the Bills and the Bengals. I have the Bills winning that game just because I hope to see the Bills win over the Bengals because I'm a Steelers fan. I don't like the Bengals. And I think the Bills are going to be a good team against the Bengals. And then Monday Night Football, I have the Chargers and the Jets. I have the Chargers winning. At that point, I'm just going to pick a team because I don't care for either one, and I don't think either one are actually too bad, but not good either. They're in kind of that mid-area, I should say. Moving on to a couple other topics. I did want to say the first couple games of the NBA in-season tournament are looking kind of funny. It really does seem like, however, that the NBA really didn't explain very well to even the players on how the in-season tournament works, and because nobody knows what's going on. They know it's different. They know there's something to work for and that to go to Vegas for the finale of the tournament. But it really doesn't seem like anybody in the NBA and even us at home really know what the in-season tournament is for. I mean, you have rookies that are saying, I have no idea what's going on. We're just out there to play a game, and that's it. Even Damian Lillard even's like, I have no clue what's going on. I'm just here to win. I mean, so props to them for continuing to go out there and play. Obviously, the in-season courts did look a little. Some of them look okay. Some of them look a little strange. I definitely think it's an interesting change and an interesting difference for once compared to just having regular 82 games, because I believe these games count towards the regular season record anyway, but they also, like, the point differential for your group matters as well, I guess, or something like that. But yet all the games in the first knockout round have been, like, really, really close. Like, some games are, like, 2-point games. Some of them are 1-point games. Some of them are, like 15, 16 games. So the point differentials so far are not going to look very good as far as I know. But, yeah. So, it is okay to see. I think most people did, I think, wear their city editions so far. I mean, especially Miami did use their city editions, but we haven't yet to see their, like, city edition court that they have, which I want to see, which would be kind of nice. But either way, so that's that. I did, however, also want to talk about how LeBron, of all people, I don't know, you probably have all seen it by now. Maybe you have, maybe you haven't. LeBron claims that the Lakers are the Pittsburgh Steelers of the NBA. I almost laughed. When I heard him say that at a post-game interview, I almost laughed. Because he said that we are the Pittsburgh Steelers of the NBA. The Lakers are the Pittsburgh Steelers right now of the NBA. Because the Pittsburgh Steelers have been outgained in every game they have played, but yet they still have a winning record. So he's claiming that the Lakers have been outplayed in every game, yet they still have a winning record. Which he also mentioned, he said he didn't say just outgained either. He said they've been outgained and outscored. As when he's talking about the Pittsburgh Steelers, he said because they've been outgained and outscored in every game, yet they still have a winning record. Which I get what you're trying to say, but not grammatically, but technicality, that's wrong. Because you can't be outgained. You can be outgained in a game and still win, but you can't be outgained and outscored in a game and still win. Which, yes, I'm being technical about this, but it's just he said it in the post-game interview, so I want to be like, dude, you can't be outscored in a game and still win the game. Like, technically, that's wrong. Like, I can outscore. You can beat me in field goal percentage, but if I outscore you, I have more points than you. Like, if we're talking one-on-one, technically, if we're talking one-on-one, you can have a better field goal percentage, but if I outscore you, I win. Because I've outscored you. I have more points. So if the Pittsburgh Steelers were to have been being outscored in every game like he says, they wouldn't have a winning record. Because you can't get outscored and still win a game. Can you be outscored compared to offenses? Yes, you can be outscored offensively. Or you can be outscored defensively. But overall, you cannot be outscored in a game and still lose. I mean, you can't be outscored in a game and still win. That is technically wrong. But I get what he's trying to say. That the Lakers have not actually done that good this year. I mean, every game it seems like they've been having to make comeback victories and comeback victories and comeback victories, and they win some, they lose some, but as far as I know, I don't know if they have a winning record. I think they're pretty, we've only had 5, maybe 6 games, so it's kind of 5 games, I think, if I remember right. So it's kind of close. I believe they're at 2-2. But still, it's really? And I guess it's probably because he's trying to push the fact that he's been making picks every week for the NFL. So he's been getting into more. He's been trying to say he's probably been trying to be oh well, I know more about the NFL than people think, kind of stuff. But it just dude, stick. If you're basketball, if you're basketball and you just got done with the basketball game, talk about the basketball, or talk about other stuff. I get it, but on your own time, you make those NFL picks. So on your own time, go for it. I don't care. But when you're at the game, when you're at the game, playing the game of basketball that you are paid to be playing, talk about basketball. Now, yes, if you do something, if he does a lot of he did his whole school that he did in Akron, Ohio, and this and that and this and that, and they all do charity stuff. I get it. But you're trying to make yourself look smart and look like comparisons to the NFL, to the NBA, and yada, yada, yada. But don't. Props for trying, but no. It's okay. You're good. The only other thing I've been seeing is that Victor Wembanyama, the rookie this year for the Spurs, he has been doing really good in the NBA this year, as far as I've seen. I haven't followed too closely on the Spurs, But the fact that he's so tall compared to people is almost like, do you reach, this would probably be a conversation point, do you reach a point where it's almost unfair how tall he is? Like, I've been seeing things that people are going to end up having to literally shoot like Steph Curry just to get it over him. Like, you're going to have to shoot straight up instead of shooting how normally people shoot, how it has a little bit of an arch, but not a lot sometimes. People are going to have to start shooting like Steph Curry that has just a gigantic arch this way and hits and goes down into the basket, because how else are you going to get it past him, and how else are you going to be able to score? He puts his hand up like this, and you're immediately just looking straight up at it like this. And the ball down here? No. Does it reach a point eventually where it's almost like he's just a cheat code at this point? Even in, like, you could say people in 2K are like a cheat code. Like, this build is a cheat code, and this build's a cheat code in 2K. But is he actually a cheat code at this point? I mean, because he's so freakishly tall. I mean, he's so skinny. I wonder what he weighs in at. Brief thing for research. Yeah, he's 7'4", 209 pounds. Like, if he was a little bit heavier, like, say, like a Shaq type, like, heavier set, but not heavier set, but, like, more, like, muscular. I can't speak English today. If he was more muscular than he actually is right now, because he's pretty thin, dude would be unstoppable. Like, if you had take somebody like Giannis versus Wembanyama, it would be a matchup to watch. And I'm pretty sure they play at some point this year, but you have somebody like that where, like, Giannis is really tall, but he's really huge. He came into the league just not exactly like Victor has when he's thin, but he was thinner and he was smaller. But dude got built. He worked at it and he got built. If Victor Wembanyama does that, like, say, like, you put him at 7'4", 250 or something like that, gains an extra 50 pounds, dude would be built. And I mean built. Then he could literally post people up and take them straight down to the basket and just, like, he already, I saw a video that he was holding a camera and he was grabbing a basketball and he went to, like, dunk it. He literally only had to go from, like, here to here with the ball. And it was, like, barely jumping. He literally just, like, if he could get that big and build down to the paint and, like, post somebody up and just push them down to the paint, just turn around and just, dude would have, like, all the Spurs would have to do is just pass down to him in the paint. That's it. What else do you have to do? Nobody else is scoring. Like, that team would score, like, 0 points for the rest of them at that point until they start double teaming him. Which, even then, would that still be plausible? Like, for a double team on him, does that really matter? Because he just can hold the ball up here and then just... But at that point, once they double team, then you can just start seeing people like the Spurs scoring points. But realistically, until they double team him, then wouldn't he have like 20 points, 20, 30 points by the time they start double teaming him and he still had plenty of the game left? Like, he is a strange build, strange athlete. Props to him for doing pretty good, though, because I guess he had a really good game in, like, his 5th game in the NBA compared to, like, games that LeBron were having in, like, his 34th or 35th game into the league. Dude's doing it 5 games in and is already having comeback victories and beating the Suns, of all things, and, like, towering over Kevin Durant. Like, they were standing side by side, and Kevin Durant was here, and he was, like, clear up here. Like... What's the size difference? Kevin Durant is 6'10". So you have quite a substantial difference of height. 6'10 to 7'4". That is nuts. So, yeah, I think honestly, Victor Wembanyama, if he could build himself up and gain more weight, put on some pounds, eat your Wheaties, eat a lot of steaks in the off season, go ham on the steaks, like 3-4 steaks a day, and build your muscle, huge, built. Dude would be unstoppable, virtually unstoppable. Yeah. That's about it that I can think of. I did see, however, as well, that flag football is coming to the Olympics. I don't believe it's next year, but I think it's to the year after that. But yeah, it'll be interesting to see flag football in the Summer Olympics. I'll be excited to see how that turns out, which would that mean, like, you get to see people like, say, like, Jalen Hurts, Justin Jefferson, all them people on the same team? Would that be like a full, like, 12 on 11 on 11 is how they're doing that? Or is it just like a typical, like, 5 on 5? I'm curious. Okay, so it's not going to be like too many. It's probably, I bet you it'll probably be like a 5 on 5 kind of thing or something. But could you imagine if it was 11 on 11 flag football? The USA would dominate everybody. Like, could you imagine with like a defense if they actually did like football, how the NFL football is, but flag football with no pads? Could you imagine if people like, and say you actually did football, like pads and everything. Can you imagine a team like that for the Olympics on defense alone? Like, you're talking like Nick Bosa, Joey Bosa, TJ Watt, Fred Warner, linebackers, Minkah Fitzpatrick. Minkah Fitzpatrick? Yeah. Yeah. Why did I find his name weird? I thought that sounded wrong, but it was right. Minkah Fitzpatrick, Trayvon Diggs, Justin Jefferson, Patrick Mahomes on offense, Patrick Mahomes, Justin Jefferson, like all-star people. Like, that would be nuts. That would realistically be nuts. I could see that being a good thing to watch in football. Like, let alone the NFL right now is like, it's okay to watch, but the refs need to go back to, like, they need to fire all of them and find new refs. Not even fire them all, but send them back to, like, this. Send them back to, like, when teams are on, like, OTAs or, like, training camp. Send them all back to, like, a ref training camp. And have people from the, from New York, from, like, the big office, be like, this is exactly what we're looking for on roughing the passer. Or this is exactly what we're looking for when it comes to roughing pass interference. Or this is exactly what we're looking for on this play and this play and this flag and this flag and this flag. If it does not look like that, don't call it. Because this is getting ridiculous. People are getting like routine sacks on quarterbacks, and they're getting called on roughing the passer. Like, that is ridiculous. Like with Pittsburgh on Thursday Night Football, the Titans got bailed out of their first drive of the game so bad because the refs decided to call 5 straight penalties on the defense for Some of them plausible, but some of them are still like, this bullshit. Like, and then people are getting fined ridiculous amounts of money. Like, especially running backs. Running backs are getting fined a ridiculous amount of money for trucking people. Like, Jaylen Warren on the Pittsburgh Steelers, he basically gets his game check fined to him every game at this point. Like, there was like 2 or 3 straight games where he made like X amount of money, and they basically charged him 75% of his game check, if not the whole thing. Like, there was 1 week there where he got charged his entire game check just because of one stupid block. Like, how do you expect these players to do anything when you're finding them left and right for bullshit calls that you can't even get right? Like, you had Kenny Pickett get injured with ribs because a defender absolutely drilled him to the ground and held his arm down like this so that his arm would stick out and hit the ground and injure his ribs. Luckily he played the next week, but then you got people that are like softly getting wrapped up around their legs and they just sit down like, ugh, and they get roughing the passer. Like, this is hard to watch just because of the refs. Like, they may as well be playing flag football out there. Like, you may as well just get rid of the pads and put flags on them. Say, here you go. This is no different. Like, this is stupid. Absolutely stupid. The refs and the officiating this year just seems like it has been like 10 times worse than what it usually is. It's because they call everything, and then seeing all the fines or seeing people get fined because they did something wrong on their touchdown celebration. Like, it is not the NFL. It is the no fun league. The NFL right now is not the National Football League. It is the no fun league. None. Like, I don't get it. I really don't. I did so far seeing how the, like, players in the NBA, by the way, getting teched for flopping really has been doing okay as far as I've seen it in action, like the first couple of games in the NBA. Some of them still are a little kind of, maybe he flopped, or like you see people like Biggs, like trying to screen a small guy, and he getting like blasted back. Like, that's a big dude compared to a small dude. He's gonna get sent flying if he screens him hard. Like, obviously. But then they call it they tech the other guy because he flopped and this and that. But like, so far it hasn't been too bad, but it's okay. So far, I'm not opposed to it, but I'm not, like, all for it. I mean, I'm all for, like, not getting, like, players like James Harden getting that every single game. But the fact that it doesn't get called till a dead ball is a smart thing to do, because then it doesn't take away from, like, the motion of the game until there's a dead ball and we're like, tech on this guy because he flopped. But I also, in the same aspect, I don't like that, because then it's like you'd forget what you did and they'd be like, I don't know, where like the ball goes out of bounds, like, oh, by the way, tech on you. Then it's just like, what did I do? And you're like, oh, you flopped like 3 plays later, or 3 plays earlier, or like 2 plays earlier. It's like, what? Like, so that part's a little weird. Maybe I could see the only improvement I would do to that would be like a signal to like the announcement table, and they like turn on a light, maybe like the coaches challenge, which is like a green light when they want to try and challenge the call, and there's a green light to flash. Maybe have like a red light on the announcer's table, maybe that does the same thing, that announces, hey, there's a tech incoming on like this person, until they dead ball, and then like, oh, kind of thing. That would be the one thing that I would see that I would maybe improve on, is let them know that they're going to get a tech. even when they're like playing the game. Like the announcement table has to like say like, or go over the intercom like incoming like tech on this person for flopping, or like I said, like a signal on the board or on the announcement table that's like flashing light that says like incoming tech on this person for flopping. So they were like, oh, okay. And then when the dead ball closes, it's like, all right, tech on this person for this. But yeah, that's all I got so far. Nothing really on games so far, aside from Spider-Man 2 is going to be Game of the Year. I haven't finished that yet. But I haven't finished it yet, but I'm excited to finish it. And yeah, I don't really think there's any other games that are coming out this year that are overly exciting. I don't know how I feel about the Avatar game. I don't feel like I'm going to play it. But if you want to see it, then maybe we'll see it. Well, maybe we'll do it. But I don't think there's any other games coming out this year. So, yeah. So, yeah, ladies and gentlemen, without further ongoing-ons, I will see y'all in the next one. Be prepared for 2 more Spider-Man 2 videos out this week, followed by a D&N show on Sunday again. Yeah. Without further ongoing-ons, ladies and gentlemen, I will see y'all in the next one. Deuces!